started.
Well,
That's kind of,
hello, I'm Pastor Don Wolf, pastor here at Cornerstone Worship Center, and this is Walking with the Lord. And today there's only 3 of us walking. The others have got bad legs or something. But hey, we thought it would be good just to kind of think of Christmas, maybe Christmas in the past or Christmas this year, and look at it from 2 points of view. As children, I know for us that's a long ways to look back, and also as adults. And so I guess I want to start just by asking you, what does Christmas really mean to you as a child and as an adult? Does anyone want to start?
oh, I'm sorry, I was trying to set a timer. Well, I think more as an adult, it's more about just thinking, I try to think more about Jesus. And I think about, the things that Mary must have went through in her day. I mean, in this day and age, it's nothing for a teenage girl to be pregnant and keep the baby. Nobody thinks twice about it. Nobody says anything about it. But in Mary's day, that was quite the big to-do. So as an adult, I tend to think about that.
Stoning comes to mind.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, it was a big disgraceful thing back in her day. So as an adult, I kind of think about some of the things that Mary went through, and I think about, her and Joseph's journey to Bethlehem and how rugged and rough that was on her. So as an adult, I just try to focus on Christ and his birth, and try to instill that in my grandchildren too, and remind them that that's what Christmas is about. It's not about presents, and it's about getting together with family and just thinking about Jesus.
How about you, Ernestine? We'll look at it from a child's point of view first.
Well, I'd always be really excited about Christmas when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It meant getting with all my cousins, and we just drew names so and get a gift, and then also I went to country school, and we always did a program, and then afterwards we got a bag of candy and peanuts, so it was fun. I enjoyed it as a child.
I tried to think about that this morning, and the only there's 2 things that comes to mind when I was a kid. First of all, Christmas meant I had to go to church for Saturday night, midnight mass. And I really didn't want to do that, but that was the negative side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the positive side, of course, like all kids, go to sleep as soon as we could and be up maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Before the sun is up.
Right.
Right.
And run out into we didn't have it upstairs, we always had a flat house. And run into the living room and go on to open it. And we knew not to touch it
Mm-hmm.
until Mom said, now you could open it.
Mm-hmm.
But we were, and I'm not going to say we were poor, we just didn't have any funds.
Mm-hmm.
And we always got an orange, a big orange in our
Yeah.
sock, and a little bit of candy to go with it. And always got something to wear, which never excited me.
No.
It was usually pajamas or something like that. And a toy. We always got a toy.
Yep.
And usually be a little car or something
Mhm.
like that. And that was our Christmas. But that was exciting. And then we'd get in the car and we'd drive to Independence, Missouri. We lived in Kansas City. Because that's where my grandparents were.
Mm-hmm.
And they out on a farm. no running water, no electricity. I mean, we're talking, this is in the 30s now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'd be out, go out there, but I can remember the house, I remember two things about their house. One, the kitchen with the living room was big,
Yeah.
and it would hold all the Robertson family, which is my mother. And there would be 40, 45 people out there, something like that. And as kids would be going out and getting wood, so they put the wood stove and cook, and then there would be a big turkey. And boy, that's really my thinkings of youth. So it was a good thing, but Christ was not in it.
Right.
Other than this, my mother and her three sisters would get on the player piano, which was in the living room of my grandparents' house, and they would sing Christmas carols, and that was basically our Christmas. How about, maybe not as of today, but as a mature adult, what does Christmas mean?
Well, it means everything. It means salvation. It means Jesus coming. I mean, it just is really means life.
Well, what do you think is the most memorable, I can't say it, memorable Christmas you ever had?
I don't really know.
Well, you ever?
I've had lots of memorable ones, but one that come to mind, you was talking about when you were a kid and how you guys did Christmas. We would, when my mom's side of the family was smaller than what it is now, when we were kids, we would all meet together with her dad's side of the family, and we would meet in the basement of the bank in the city of Manton.
Oh, did you get gifts?
And I don't remember. I think there might have been, a few gifts to pass out for the kids.
I mean, money bags.
Oh no! Oh, from the bank? No, we didn't get anything from the bank. But there was always a time of just getting together with family and having food and to be able to play with the cousins and doing Christmas carols, and they'd play games, and they'd have games for the kids and games for the adults, and it was just that, to me, it was a very memorable time, and just being with family.
Amen. Yeah. Ours was a lot, was being with family, with the kids and playing. And
Yeah, and we really don't have those kind of Christmas.
Not nowadays.
Because everybody's mobility is what ruined it, really.
Yeah, because we can get further. Families are spread out so far that it is hard to get everybody all together. And then, like a lot of your jobs, like this year, Christmas falls in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
So I work Monday through Friday. So I'm working to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So I won't be going to the Christmas dinner at my in-laws because they have it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
I mean, I probably could because I'm with Wilma, so I could probably take Wilma with me. But it just, lately I just don't do well with crowds and confined spaces.
I think, the book that I did, I put this in there. And my greatest, as far as I'm concerned, or the most pleasing Christmas was not here in the United States. It was when I was in Korea. And of all places, why there? But our chaplain announced that he was going to go to the
Orphanage.
orphanage and pick up the orphans and bring them in for, I think this was on Christmas Eve, if I remember right. And then anyone who wanted to go was welcome to. And there was, I don't know, 8 or 10 of us. and we had 2 deuce and a halves, and they're open trucks. And it was, I'm sure it was December 24th, and it was cold.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're talking cold.
Mm-hmm.
And we all had all our warm clothes on that we could. And when we got to the orphanage, I was frozen, to be honest about it. Well, the orphans came out and got in the trucks, and they had either light jackets on or you know, they really weren't warm. And they was exposed to that. And the time we got back to the mess hall where we was going to have the party, these kids were frozen. I mean, we were cold. And so we went in, well, that changed the atmosphere. Of course, they had Santa Claus by the door, and he gave them a sack of candy as they came in. And we sit down, and they start spreading the orphans around, and little kid, probably 4 years old, snot running down the front of his face, you know. He had wet his pants, and he came and sat on my lap. Today I would probably knock the kid off, and you know, but he sat there, and first they brought him out brought out the food for him, but they wouldn't eat it because it was foreign to them, and there was no rice. I mean, rice and kimchi, that's their diet. And so we had to eat a little bit.
So they knew.
So they would know that it was eatable. And then they brought them hot chocolate. And they had hot chocolate. So we had to drink the hot chocolate, and so they would. But one of the orphans came by and wanted to know how things were going. I said, fine. I said, what's his name? And she said, Kim. Well, Kim is like Joe. And so where that was his name or not, I don't know. But, and I put this in the book. Regardless of how he was in this miserable condition, he was my Kim for Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And I had him with me all for an hour and a half, whatever it was. But as they left, they gave each one of them a blanket, a GI blanket, and they could take that with them. But that was our, to me, that was the most satisfying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Christmas. What would you like Christmas to, if you could change Christmas, what would you change in it?
I think it doesn't need to be so commercial.
Oh, yeah.
That was my thought. Commercialization is
and
crazy.
just, I mean, nowadays, I mean, either you have the very poor, you have kids with too many toys, and that sometimes that doesn't seem right to me, but that's the way it is.
I remember, that reminds me, my oldest grandson, he's the first, no, he's second born, so he's second oldest. But we went over to their house for Christmas. And I'm not lying to you one bit. The living room is probably about, Cheryl's living room, probably about 14 by 16. Pretty good sized living room. And they had a tree at one end. And gifts were on the floor covering half of that living room.
Oh my goodness.
I never saw anything. It was disgusting. And I don't mean disgusting from the standpoint of all this things for their kid, but at that time they only had 2 kids, and some of the adults and things like that. But all those gifts there, and there's people who had nothing.
Yeah.
And it's
a little much.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I know we have 9 grandkids, and I buy each of them a couple of items, 2 or 3 items. You know, we get 2 or 3 items for the kids, and we get 2 or 3 items for the adults. But we don't buy them a lot because, well, one, they have other grandparents too that will buy for them too. So, and Pastor Don was talking about for Christmas, they got a piece of fruit, clothing they needed, and a toy. And as a general rule, I usually will get the grandkids a toy and some clothing. So, and that's what I will get them. And I always make candy baskets for them. But like with Pastor Ernestine, I believe it's too much commercialism, too much Santa, and it should be more about Jesus.
Yeah.
More people need to know that why we celebrate the season.
Yeah.
And you know, on the radio station I listen to, the one DJ said, you guys have all heard of Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah.
She doesn't do Elf on the Shelf. She does Abel in the Stable. And so I am attempting, I've looked it up and I can't get it at the Christian bookstore, but it's a donkey in a stable and the kids can play with them, and it comes with a book and tells about the birth of Jesus.
Oh, that would be nice.
So I've gone on, I looked at the Christian bookstores, you can't get it.
Oh.
They have all kinds of other nativity stuff, but they don't have this particular thing. So I just Googled it and found it. And so I think it's like 25 or 30 bucks for a kit. But I thought, you know what? Before next Christmas, my kids are going to have one in their homes.
Yeah.
Because they need to know why.
Yes, I know.
So.
One thing that, boy, several weeks back, I was occasionally I was sitting there thinking that gets me in trouble. And I thought, boy, the church needs to at least adopt a family for Christmas.
Yeah.
And
Schools do that too.
And I was thinking about that, and I guess about 2 weeks ago, it came back to me, and I said, boy, I'm going to contact somebody and find out who around here. Then it hit me, and it's just like a loudspeaker. You are Felix.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Felix is a brother of ours in Uganda, whose wife is in critical condition. She could pass any time, and he got 5 children, and I believe the oldest one's about 14. He'd been born somewhere around 2010, something like that. And we're assisting them through some of their troubles. And I think that we can accept that.
Yeah.
It's not only, we have sent a gift, and so has the church, and then the association we're with there on the settings, some money to us, of course, go forward to them. And it's nice to take care of the local people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we do have avenues where people can get assistance.
Yes.
Where those in some other countries like
Don't have-
Uganda, they don't have anything. It's you or nothing.
Right.
And I just want to add this. A few years back, we had a friend of ours in Cape Town, and it was the wife or the guy, or he died, but one or the other. No, there's hospitalized. That's what it was. And he sent a note. He says, "They won't let me have my wife until I pay my bill."
Yeah. And that way you go get more, the
Yeah,
bill would go up.
right, and that it's a hopeless situation.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, so we did send some money for them to think about that. You owe a bill, so they won't release the sick patient to you. What world do you do?
What do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we are blessed in the way we live. I mean, capitalism has its faults.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
But, boy, I'll tell you, there's no better system anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel sorry for countries like that.
We got 3 minutes.
I mean,
3.
3 minutes. Wow. This went fast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm surprised. That, any last words you want to say?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, yeah.
Bah humbug.
I think one of my favorite things at Christmas time to do is when it gets dark is to go like through the towns and drive up and down the streets to see all the Christmas lights. When my kids were little, they used to pick my oldest two up in Greenville from their dads, and we would drive around Greenville and just look at all the lights. Or we would go into Stanton and drive through Stanton. And several years ago, we took some of my grandkids, and we got in the car, and I think we went through all of Stanton on the north of Main Street, because that's where most of your residential area is. And I think of all this, we might have seen 10 houses with decorations and lights. And where my kids were little, every house, you might see 5 houses on a street, or every street in town that weren't decorated. Now people, they just don't take the time. And that's my favorite part, is taking it all the pretty lights.
Yeah.
When we lived in Laconia, that's the Detroit area, we had areas that treated every house, and they'd have competition.
Yeah.
And you would spend just on going down one block, maybe 20 minutes to see all that.
Yeah.
And that was, you're right, I forgot about those. That was one of the nice evenings. Well, we usually do it twice, which we went 2 different directions.
Yep.
And just they could take the kids out.
And look at lights. And now you can, like, it used to take us probably, I mean, you guys know how big Stanton is, but it would take us a half hour, 45 minutes to drive up and down the streets just looking at all the lights. Now you're going, it takes you 15, 20 minutes, because you'll get to like a street corner and you look to see if there's any houses. Nope, not on this street. And so you don't go up every street, you just go where you can see lights. But, yeah.
Anything you want to add?
Well, didn't we go down, wasn't we down near Detroit or something? We went down the, I don't know what they call it, it's like a lane, and they've got
I know, it's,
a big light.
Ann Arbor Trail.
Yeah, and the same way they have one of those in Florida too, and they are so beautiful.
They are.
You can't.
Grand Rapids has one at the ballpark for the Whitecaps. Is that our minor league baseball team? But they put on a big light show down there too.
Yeah, it's fun to go through them. So
Yeah.
you're amazed sometimes.
Well, we'll finish by saying the real light of Christmas is Jesus.
Yes.
And we wish every one of you the happiest, greatest Christmas you've ever had. May Jesus be the light that leads you through the holidays.
Amen.
We thank you for watching. Our very, very, Merry Christmas.
Amen.